Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rebel Racing Network, and welcome to the Rebels Grand National Series for a cutoff race for the Final Four in the championship standings tonight. I got my good buddy Chuck here tonight with me in the booth. Chuck, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing well. How are you, Eddie?
I'm doing good, doing good. Well, we're racing at Iowa Speedway in the Xfinity cars. Tell me a little bit about Iowa. How you feeling about tonight, and what have you heard from other drivers that they might be dealing with here tonight?
Well, watching practice and looking over, it's a scorcher out in that Midwest sun. 135 degrees on the track. Man, it's gonna be slick and greasy. You have kind of a smaller field tonight. I think there's only 14 in session, but that might not be a bad thing considering how. I think grip. I've seen a lot of guys already slipping and sliding. It's so hot. You can mitigate some of that with some brake bias adjustment, but when the track's 135 degrees, it's almost no matter what, it's going to be slick and greasy. So, you know, keep it turning left, boys.
Yeah.
Might even see some dirt track style.
Yeah, I saw Garrett Kinder out there doing some drifting around the corner already, so I think some folks are getting ready for that. Now, big story tonight where this is obviously the cutoff race from 6 down to 4, and but unfortunately there's a couple drivers that are going to be out. And we know Travis Bieber, Daniel Cunningham, who are playoff drivers, not going to make the Final Four, and Kieran Church, who is locked in to the Final Four, he's not here tonight. So we'll actually pull up that We'll pull up the standings real quick and show you what it looks like. Of course, Kieran Church locked into the Final Four. Brandon Wallace, Daniel Cunningham, Travis Bieber, Chris Reese, Steve McDonald are your other playoff. Now, Chris Reese, Travis Bieber, or Chris Reese is not here tonight along with Kieran Church. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work. I knew Daniel Cunningham, Travis Bieber not going to be there next week, but with Chris Reese being out of the race, he may be giving up his spot to the Final Four, and we may just have a Final 3 for the end of this thing. So, going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but I can definitely tell you the Final Four is going to be exciting nonetheless, as we've got about 20 seconds left in qualifying, and we'll go ahead and get that Chuck Pegleg Pole Award. Of course, we want to talk about our sponsors while we're rolling. Obviously, Chuck Pegleg for the Pole Award, Jeff By Jr. Art, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Dark Horse Motorsports, Flexible Freight Solutions, and all of our partners in this series that helped this thing go around. So let's go ahead, Chuck, and let's give out your award. Was the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner, and let's see who is going to take that home tonight. And it looks like Jonathan Cofield in that number 58 machine going to take the pole, and we'll jump right into the starting grid. Jump right into the starting grid here as I fumble around. But Jonathan Cofield starting on the pole outside the front row is Aaron Adcock in that 23 machine. He was struggling in practice, but looks like he found something there, Chuck, has got him on the outside of the front row. Starting in row number 2 is Brandon Pollock in the 24 machine, and Tyler Rice, who will be taking the EOL before this thing gets started. Brandon Wallace starting in 5th, Steve McDonald in 6th, couple playoff drivers in that row. Starting in 7th, Matt Knights, and 8th, Jonah Colbert. Starting 9th, Michael Kosick. 10th, Garrett Kinder. 11th, Daniel Cunningham. 12th is Matt Clemon. And then Christopher Hooper and Trevor Vaden bring up the rear of the field. Well, all right, getting ready to get this going. That's your Jeff By Jr. starting grid. So congratulations to the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner, Jonathan Cofield. Man, talk to me about this race, Chuck. What can we expect as far as fuel runs? With it being so hot and slick, what are we looking at dealing with for 100 laps here tonight?
If I did my math correct, I believe they're at 60% fuel. When I ran laps on my own, it was about a give or take, of course. I was able to get about 90 to 100 laps on a full tank. So doing the math, 100 laps, 60% is obviously 60 laps. Even if I know they could go halfway, I'd be surprised if anybody, for whatever reason, could not go halfway. So I don't feel is going to be an issue. I believe on that aspect, it's a one stopper. Obviously, uh, if as slick as it is, if it wasn't so hot, I feel with the smaller field, it has the potential to go green or checker. But it is slick, so we'll see if I just jinx the field.
Well, getting ready to take the green flag, Jonathan Cofield takes the green flag. Barney's got the green flag in his hand, and green flag one more time. I'll say green flag yet again as I go down into turn one. Tyler Rice up on the high side, trying to maybe look to see if he can make it 3 wide. As looks like Aaron taking it a little easy on the outside of the front row, but settles in that second place. Oh, as Brandon Pollock gets into the wall there early. That is an early. Don't want to be doing that on lap 2, but he gets into the wall. The 24 machine going to have a little bit of damage. As now Tyler Rice going to look down to the inside. That's going to allow the front two of Jonathan Cofield and Aaron Adcock to start to pull away, give them a little bit of breathing room here earlier in this race. But right behind them, man, we got a whole bunch of cars. You got Michael Kostick, Garrett Kinder, Matt Knights, Brandon Wallace, all right on top of each other as they try to make this work. See some guys working that top line here early. We'll see if that's something that continues.
I wonder if that's what Pollock was trying. It just didn't quite grip up yet. Obviously, we've already said it's the buzz phrase again already is hot and slick. But even if it wasn't, you got to let the tires build up, the heat built up, the pressures, and I just think he didn't. It wasn't gripped up, and that's why he scraped it. But I don't think it's gonna hurt him too bad. It probably looked worse than it was. It looked like he had just scraped it a little bit.
Yeah, and these tracks have a they have a dark area on the track that sort of shows where rubber gets laid down, and that's where most of your grip's going to be. Outside of that, you're really playing with fire. You're just asking for the car to just not handle properly. And so getting up there early, especially up in the marbles, that's always a tough ask out of these, especially these Xfinity cars that really move around, especially on the throttle. So, but out front here early, Jonathan Cofield with a 0.7 second lead over your second place Aaron Adcock in that 23 machine. As like I said, those two have started to set sail here early. But 125-degree track temp, Chuck. How does that make you feel about tires as you go through these runs?
It's actually 136. I'm looking at it right now. It's showing 136. Again, with the track being that hot and greasy, I mean, obviously fresh tires are always important, but I don't know if I've ever driven a track, at least a short track, where you got a on the turns are sharper, they're not as broad, so you got more wheel in it. And I don't know if I've ever run Iowa this hot, so I'm not sure how much grip they're going to really have, even on fresh tires.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think I completely agree with that. Most of the time when we run Iowa, it's usually at night, and so the cars actually are really tight. You have to take care of the tires. You have to take care of that right front. You have to exit off the bottom. I mean, it's just a different style in the daytime versus the night. So I think it's going to be an interesting race for sure because, like I said, usually we run night races here, and it really changes how the whole race is going to go, I think. But I think we're starting to see that for sure as the field's sort of spread out here early.
Right, everybody's minding their P's and Q's. I'm actually impressed. Other than Pollock's just scraping the wall a little bit, I haven't really seen any of the Tokyo drift and dirt tracking yet. Key word being yet, but and I've seen some races. Like we got Garrett Kinder underneath a caustic, on the bottom. So we do have some racing here. There's definitely talent in this field that it could go green checker. But again, that track temp could be the proverbial equalizer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, may make it hard to pass where you know, have a hard time getting off the corner with it being tight when it's you know, a little bit cooler. It can be even more difficult when it's hot and the rear tires just don't grip up. But I think that makes for a little bit more enjoyable racing. Guys having a little bit more fun as there gives the driver a little bit more control. That's one thing I love about a loose race car is give me the control. Let me deal with the issues. If it's so tight that you're just reliant on the setup and the mechanical grip, then the driver really doesn't do much other than you have to make sure you hit the perfect line every time. But when it's loose, you really can work the throttle, make it turn a little bit better, take it a little bit easier. It gives the driver a lot more control.
That's a great point too. And let's not forget, you already made the point that this league normally runs this at night. So there's factor number one, as far as, of course, the temperature that we've been talking about, which, by the way, it's now up to 137. Also, though, this league, it's been a long time that we've had this specific car at this track during the day. This is a car, you know, you got to be a wheelman in this car. It's not going to just drive itself around the track, kind of like maybe some other model. You got to get up on the wheel in these Xfinity cars, and now you take 137-degree track stamp on a .88 mile track. I mean, it's not even a mile track. So you take all those factors. These guys are definitely getting on it for sure.
Yeah. As we watch Garrett Kinder down trying to make this bottom work on the inside of Steve McDonald, you see just how difficult it still is to make. He's working that steering wheel in there. You can see inside the car, and he's trying to make it work, but just so difficult when you need the Iowa's just so tough because you need to use the whole track, and you're just not able to do that here. When you're side by side with somebody, you need to be able to go all the way out to the wall to carry that momentum. But it looks like the 24 Brandon Pollock's going to almost pick Steve McDonald a little bit on that outside as he falls back a little bit, and that's going to give Garrett Kinder that position. So good work by Garrett to use that 24 car to kind of help him make that pass. But now he's having to struggle yet again with that now the 24.
A couple laps there as you watch this battle, and here we go, almost street wide again. I'm really impressed with everybody's patience and how they're keeping it clean. I mean, that's some good racing right there. Almost 3 wide a couple times there in just a couple of laps.
Yeah. It looks like the 24 either has some damage from getting in that wall earlier, or it's just struggling here. He's been committed to the high side, it seems like, and as we know from pretty much every track on the high side, it will eat through the tires. So the 24 having a little bit of damage, working the top side, really heating those right sides up, going to make it a lot more difficult. Now, somebody that is making their way through the field is Jonah Colbert here in that 31, Kane's machine, as he is going to the outside of Steve McDonald, gets right to the back bumper of that 24. So Brandon Pollock losing spots pretty quickly here as we're clicking off laps here, Chuck. 20 laps into this 100-lap race.
Yeah, we're closing in on the quarter mark. And you said Jonah Colbert. My roster, I'm only seeing Jonah. I don't know who this Colbert guy is speaking of. It just says Jonah, so
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's like, I guess he did that. He wanted to be a one name, kind of like Beyonce, So I think that's what he's going for there. As we watch Garrett Kinder continue his run to the front, up 6 spots already. Now he's looking to the inside of Tyler Rice, who Tyler is doing a great job. He had moved past Brandon Pollock into that 3rd position. But, what's crazy right now to me, Chuck, is this looks like a battle for the lead, but this is a battle for 3rd place, almost 5.5 seconds back from our leader, Jonathan Cofield, who's really, he's really set sailed.
Well, and the point you made is earlier about needing the whole track. These guys here battling, they can't use the whole track. They can't come down if they're on the outside. Garrett can go up, being on the inside. With the guys in front of them, 1st and 2nd, they're able, because of lack of traffic, they're able to use the entire track as well. So that's what's allowing them to to check out. Their line is not restricted by other vehicles at this point.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I tell you what, you better watch out for that number 8 car. We say it every week. He's methodical. He's patient. He just kind of methodically gets himself from wherever he starts. Just kind of, gets up there every week.
Yeah, a couple drivers moving forward now. It's starting to the cream to really rise to the top here, as Jonah has now gotten up to 6. He's right behind Tyler Rice, and then you're starting to see Michael Kostick and Matt Clement going to the inside of Brandon Pollock. So,
Yep. And now that Garrett has gotten through some of that traffic, watch how his line has already changed. He's now using the entire track, where before he was really only about half the track from the apron about midway up. And now you see he's still, going in on the bottom, but he'll come out and use more of a straight drive off. He's now able to use the entire track.
yeah, and the lap times definitely reflect that. Garrett Kinder runs a 25.7. Which is slightly faster than what Jonathan Cofield just ran. So, yeah, 100% right you are about that. Is as soon as they were able to get clear, they are starting to really put down. Him and Michael Kostick are really fast right now. Aaron Adcock in second. He has fallen back about 3 seconds, and it's about 3/10 off the guys behind him. So he's going to probably fall back into the clutches of those fellas. As, man, you look down at the bottom, Cofield, there's nobody around Cofield. Cofield is like he's in a different server. I mean, he looks like he's in a different session completely.
Yeah, well, he almost is. And I'll say it again. I'm sorry to the viewers for being Mr. Pete and Repeat tonight, but I'm really impressed with the entire field. Not that I'm surprised, but, it's now up to 138 on the. I've only been on iRacing a few years, but I don't know if I've ever seen Iowa at 138 years. That's crazy. And everybody in the field, I mean, I don't care if they're first or last, it's got to be just so super slick out there, and everybody's doing their thing so far.
Yeah.
And we're over a quarter way now.
Yeah, so watch Jonah go to the inside of Tyler Rice, who going to fight back a little bit on the high side. Jonah's been kind of hunting him down for the last few laps. Actually does a good job off the corner. But Jonah has that position, 3 and 4. Been good for Jonah the last few laps, but Tyler Rice really fighting hard. And Tyler able to hold on to that spot. So Jonah going to have to kind of regroup and try again.
Yeah, a lot of people, there's been some pretty good patience and give and take. And I wonder if that is because, as slick as it is, the people, as you see Pollock get loose again, Daniel having to go to the low side. But there's been some good give and take, or, some courteous racing, I guess, is what I want to say.
Yeah, Daniel Cunningham up 4 spots. He's been slowly picking them off in that Crayola scheme.
Makes me hungry.
Yeah, talked a little bit about that before the race, and I thought it makes me want to color in some books and stuff like that. Maybe do a little color by number or something like that. But for you, it said you made you want to eat dinner. So. Good looking paint scheme, though, I have to admit. Even though it's a funny joke of a scheme, he did a really good job on it, I think.
Yeah, I agree, and it really is tough that you put the paint scheme award on my shoulders, because no lip service at all, week in and week out. There's just some really, you can't give everybody a trophy, even though this world nowadays everybody seems to get a trophy for showing up. We don't do that here in Rebel. Somebody gets the award, but it is tough week in and week out to actually pick a winner, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented painters in this league, and It's there's a lot of originality and stuff too that I really like to see these guys do. You see a lot of people able to do replica schemes, and those are really nice. But it's cool to see guys do kind of knockoff schemes using their own brands, or maybe a
Right.
different brand. You've got the BK boys that take a AC Delco car and put Burger King on it instead, or something, just to kind of show your personality. It's one cool thing about iRacing is you're not really beholden to any sponsors. Some guys like to have sponsors and do it like that, but I think it's cool to be able to just kind of have that artistic freedom, do what you want, do something that kind of shows your personality, and I think a lot of the paint schemes do that. So.
Well, it is the artistic aspect of it, and what's neat is everybody sort of has their own style, especially when you're not in the official races where you got people that maybe you've never seen before. But when you're in the league and you get to know, you can almost look at a car and know who painted it without really knowing, because everybody's kind of got their style. One painter likes using this spec map, or another painter likes this type of number font, or you can almost tell that's an Eddie Smith car, or that's an Adcock car, or that's a Jonah Colbert car, just because each painter they have their own style.
Yeah. So every week it's always fun to see how that's all people, what they do, how they change it up. Got a couple really nice paint schemes right here as the 13 has run down Aaron Adcock, as Aaron is starting to fade pretty quickly as they ran him down without much effort at all. Good 3/10 or more slower than these two that just got around him, which is Garrett Kinder, Michael Kostick, but still Jonathan Cofield's holding that lead over Garrett Kinder. As if you look, he is way out there by himself, not even close.
I'm running triples, and we got Aaron going down pit road.
Aaron Adcock gives up that position, comes on down pit road. I'm sure that means he can make it from here. So definitely.
Well, that would open at 60 laps. This will take him to 100.
Yeah. As we look at the lap times between. Yeah, exactly. Looking at the lap times between first and second, you can see that Garrett Kinder is actually a little bit faster. Him and Kostick started a little bit towards the back, and had that not been the case, I think Garrett Kinder and Kostick would be up here battling for the lead, but they had to fight through traffic, how difficult it was to get through that traffic. And you see they're running the exact same lap time, so it's not like Cofield is just that much faster than everybody. It's just that he had the track position, and it's definitely paying off for him. The guys behind him are going to need a caution, maybe a whole lot of help to be able to catch Cofield by the end of this thing.
We got two more came down pit road. I believe it was Tyler Rice and Brandon Pollock, if I caught the number correctly. So Aaron trying to maybe short pit. See if people follow suit to try and undercut Cofield.
Yeah, and it looks like the lap times are about close to 2 seconds difference, but about a second to second and a half difference between the 40 lap old tires and brand new tires. So you're not going to gain a ton, but if you come down early like Aaron and Tyler and these guys did. That's a second a lap, and if you go 20 laps, that's a big difference. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if Aaron's able to make up some ground and maybe run down Cofield, catch a caution or something. But right now it's still Jonathan Cofield. Garrett Kinder has kind of shrunk that lead to less than 5 seconds now. It's about 4.7 there for a second. You see he's about a tenth faster this lap, him and Kostick. So if they can get a caution, I definitely think these three are the fastest for sure. But like I said before, Cofield's got that track position, and it just shows how important it is to qualify, Chuck. Cofield has, all of the advantages because he started outside the front row and didn't have to battle those guys. It's so tough to
Save
start in
tire,
the
use all
back.
the
Yeah.
track. Yep, yep. Well, I'm impressed with Garrett because he started 10th and had to, he again he had traffic, so he wasn't able to use all the track, and probably had to use up his tires more than Cofield did just by the fact that he had to come up through the field and
Oh, as he gets really loose off the corner. Sorry to interrupt you there, Chuck, but the
oh, you're fine.
13 was yawed out about 45 degrees off the corner, and we almost lost him. He's gonna be with it. The track being as hot as it is, he's gonna feel that for the next couple laps or so. No doubt about it.
Right, which is what I was saying. He's had to uh, run his tires harder than Cofield has because of having to come up through the traffic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting to see that the lap times are fairly similar, and a lot of times Garrett's a little bit faster. So even though he may have had to run them harder, he seemed to have been able to save up just the right amount. Is a little bit of contact here between Bubba Wallace and Steve McDonald as they're side by side here. So I don't know what happened there, but looks like they're okay. You see Tyler Rice with those fresh tires coming up behind him.
Right, and that was my point. That's why I'm actually very impressed with Garrett. The fact that he has caught and is, slowly but surely shrinking that lead, having had to run his tires harder.
Go back and check this replay on the Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Oh, we're just going to miss it. Back it up just a tad. We're going to see Brandon Wallace go down to the inside, and they just make contact as Brandon gets pretty hot into the corner. What a save by Steve McDonald.
Oh, my gosh. There's the Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, really, really great job by the driver of the 68 machine. We'll actually go on board with him real quick and just watch that.
And as we're looking at the replay, Steve is coming down pit road. That probably just killed his tires.
Yeah, just a heck of a save. What a great job that he did there to hang on to that machine, because that could have gone really, really badly. So great job by him as he does come down pit road now. And you're right, he's definitely looking to get those rear tires off. Now you see Michael Kostick coming off pit road. He gave up third position as he comes out now, and here comes Garrett Kinder right around him, who pitted a lap before him. So that one lap made a huge difference for the 13 machine. And Aaron Adcock, who is made up a ton of time. I mean, he's got almost 10 seconds on Garrett Kinder. He also pitted 12 laps ago, so they will have a lot fresher tires. But once Cofield comes down pit road, I mean, he's not going to be the leader, I believe. So Aaron Adcock made a ton of time up there on pitting on lap 40. And the danger, Chuck. I mean, if the race is sort of, showing like it's going to run green, pitting early is always the right choice. But you just never know. You don't want to get caught with a caution and get trapped a lap down or even two here.
Oh, for sure. And back on Stephen McDonald's incident or save, again, what a save. If he had not planned on coming down, meaning wanted to play it, maybe run it out a little bit longer, sliding those tires, that pretty much made the choice for him.
Yeah. Well,
leader just called that he's pitting, so we should see Cofield coming in soon. I think this lap.
Jonathan Cofield gives up the lead. He's got a 7.2 second lead over Jonah Colbert as he comes down pit road. I would imagine he'll come out about third or fourth. We'll see exactly where he cycles around to, but he will have so much fresher tires, he'll be able to make up that difference. We'll see how he's able to do it. As he comes down pit road, Jonah Colbert's going to assume the lead, takes that 31 out front.
I like the call. Aaron started it off, and people just started following suit. I kind of like that call. I mean, when it, like you said, if it's has a potential of being green to checker, it's not a terrible call in my opinion.
Yeah, I like both strategies. I mean, if I'm Jonah Colbert, if I'm especially Jonathan Cofield, if I feel like
Well,
I had enough speed that that I can, uh, I'm way out front by 5 seconds, then I'll go a little bit longer. Oh, as Jonah Colbert's going to spin going down pit road, and Daniel Cunningham not able to get slowed up in time, and they make contact on pit road, and it went from bad to even worse as Daniel Cunningham spins him around. So big problems for Jonah and Daniel. That's pretty much going to take them out of this, as that was a lot of time wasted, at least for Jonah. That was a crazy entry there. As we'll watch, let's go back and check that on the picture-in-picture down here. We're on board with Daniel Cunningham as they come down pit road, and they're both trying to slow up, and Jonah just spins right in front of him, and unfortunately, the tire's hot, brakes, trying to get woed up. You just don't have time to dodge something like that. And so, tough deal there for the 31 and the 14.
I don't know if he did or not, but looking like it's going to be a green to checker race. Don't know how much damage it actually did for Daniel, but I would personally have taken my fast repair. Don't know if he did or didn't. I certainly would, rather than maybe, I don't know what kind of damage did, but you certainly, with the heat of the track and the temp, you don't want to be overheating if that did any front end damage.
Yeah, and it's going to work out a lot better for Daniel, because I think both of those drivers are going to take that fast repair. But it really hurt Jonah quite a bit, because he was pointed the wrong way and trying to get the car turned back around where you don't get a penalty. I mean, it's just such a tough deal that he was in, because he was fine until Daniel hit him in the left rear, and that spun him on around, and that just made it go from bad to way worse, as he had to get that thing turned around. Just lost a ton of time. Where Daniel was able to keep going, get that fast repair, and get on out. So, yeah, they are teammates.
I wonder if they will still be teammates.
Well, like I said, I don't think.
I know.
It looked like they were just trying to get on the pit road, and Jonah spins out, and Daniel's just trying to get it wound up. He can't slam on the brakes because it would, it would spin his car out. So he's trying to get wound up, but just nothing you could really do there. Now out front though, Aaron Adcock was able to take the lead after he pitted 23 laps ago. So he's got 10 lap older tires than pretty much anybody else. And so Garrett Kinder able to take that second place position, and he is trying to hold off a hard charging Jonathan Cofield, who fell from first all the way to third with those undercuts, and he's got his teammate right behind him. So Jonathan Cofield's got the freshest tires for sure, and he is running 0.3 faster than these guys up here. Depends on how tough the 13 is to pass. Track position means a lot. So we'll see how hard these guys are gonna fight the 58. He may have a tough time getting it back up to the lead. He's getting a good run here down the straightaway. It looks like it's just an inevitability. Those fresher tires just too important here on this really, really hot and slick track.
Cofield, he's definitely enjoying those new shoes right now.
Yeah, couldn't quite get to the inside. He's trying to set him up here. He's going to look down to the inside. He will have the nose to that left rear quarter, and I don't think the 13 can really hold him off, but if I know Garrett like I do, he's going to fight him. And they're both running up on the 23. It looks like Aaron's a little bit slower. Going to box in the 13 here. Oh, my goodness, I don't know what's about to happen here. Cofield's going to go for the lead, but I think Garrett's going to go down the outside. 3 wide for the lead. Oh, and Garrett's going to get to the wall, and Jonathan Cofield is going to take the lead in one corner, taking advantage of that.
That was a twofer.
Yeah. Yeah, so disappointing if you're Garrett Kinder. Just the way that played out just went the worst for him. But good for Cofield, who's able to reassume the lead, and he's got the freshest tires. He's got all the advantages now. all he's got is clean air and fresher tires. It's going to be tough for those guys behind him.
We got that number 8 car. He's just biding his time. He was just waiting to see how that played out because he's now up in this this battle.
Yeah, that strategy worked out good for Aaron, but the tire difference was just too much, and he was already a little bit behind to begin with, and so he can fight hard. He really needs a caution, though. It's not going to get any better for him. Now, Garrett Kinder, pitted on lap about 19 laps ago. Jonathan Cofield 13 laps ago. So not too big a difference, about 6 laps difference on those two cars. But Aaron Ackman 29 laps ago. He's going to need a caution to get back in this thing. He's going to fight back, and they're going to go 3 wide here. I think the 13 will get the drive off the corner, but it's a heck of an effort by the 23 to maintain that position.
And old Caustic, yeah, he's biding his time. He's just waiting how that battle shakes out. Because I think Caustic's not going to be happy with that. I think he's going to go right after Garrett here.
Yeah, I tell you what, Aaron is doing a great job of fighting. But unfortunately, you can just see the tire. Those guys can do whatever the heck they want to do, low, high, and he's struggling now with those tires. Would love to see a caution because he'd be right back in this thing. And I think the two right in front of him would love to see a caution too, as they tried that short pit to try to make up some time. But the tires just making such a huge difference.
It's just a few laps short of 25 to go. I mean, I think it'll start amping up a little bit. But I'm just, again, sorry, one more time, viewers, who said it all night. 138 degrees on it's considered a short track, so you're already putting some will into it just by the geometry of the track, and 138 degrees, and thus far we've been green. It's just, I'm impressed with everybody in the field that they're keeping it green.
Yeah, and Caustic's right on the back bumper of the 13 as they go under the 21 of Trevor Baden. We got somebody in the chat, Scott. I don't know the last name, but Scott in chat said, what happened to Jonah? So we'll take a little replay here on the Rebels picture-in-picture and show you what happened to the 31 machine as he's entering in pit road. If you joined a little bit late, you're going to see get a little hot on that brake, get sideways, and then right behind him as he's trying to get out of the way, the 14 gets into him. And so you see he's just sort of in an Austin Power situation, backing up, going forward, trying to get that 31 machine back straight with a pretty significant amount of damage. He was able to get that fast repair and get back on track, but currently he is 1 lap down. But the battle for second place is on. Cofield now about 3 seconds out from these guys. The tires are starting to equalize a little bit, but Jonathan Cofield still a little bit faster. So it looks like it's going to be a battle going to be between Garrett Kinder and Michael Caustic. And I think, Chuck, we talked about it enough all race. If Caustic doesn't get up there and try to get it done quickly, the longer this goes on, the harder and harder it's going to be for him to make the pass on that 13.
Yeah, I agree. And that's where, by his track position, and by his, I mean Cofield, even though people undercut him, which I think was a great call, I'm certainly not saying that was not a good call. But with him having the time difference, being out there so far, the undercut really only seemed to work around in regards to other positions. Cofield had the luxury of having that time gap to be able to go longer, which then turned around, gave him the fresh tires at the back end of the race.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I mean, at the moment, if everything continues to trend the way that it did, Garrett Kinder, Michael Caustic, with the short pit, the pit cycle, is, going to make up almost 2 seconds on Cofield overall. I mean, they were about 5 seconds back before pit stops, and they're 3 seconds back now. So it's going to be a net positive for them, but just because they started so far back in the field and we haven't had a caution, it's not going to be enough.
Well, and we keep saying caution. Why is it that you have not done the broadcast? I figure all the this terminology here about green flag and the checker or green the checker and caution free, caution, nothing. So apparently the broadcast curse is not working.
Well, yeah, it must be we must be a little bit out of practice with the broadcaster curse tonight, but yeah, I mean this battle for second place is still going on, man. Caustic is right there behind the 13. I hate to turn away because we're gonna miss a pass for second at some point. But just going through the field, talking a little bit, we'll keep the battle here between these two drivers. We'll keep it on the picture-in-picture, and then we'll actually go through the field a little bit. That way you don't miss it. But we'll talk a little bit about the drivers. Jonathan Cofield.
We have a spinner. Sorry.
Caution does come
Kevin
out.
Baden. There it is. There's that curse, Kevin Baden. But
well,
I
Chuck,
believe a lot of
you
people
begged for
it.
it. You begged for it, and you got it. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
I think everybody in the field is going to be happy with the curse except Cofield.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that changes the whole complexion of this race as we'll go back on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind and see what happened between the 21 as he was down low, 31 going to the outside, and you're going to see just comes around. Right there on the bottom, the bump gets him, and he comes around, and that brings out our first caution of the night right after Chuck jinxed the whole field. Look here. Well, hold on a second. Let's go back and look at this now. Chuck, tell me what you see here as we look at the replay. Comes off the corner. Boy, he is loose, trying to hang on to it. The rears are lit up, and you see he's just lighting the rears up down the straightaway and going in the corner. I mean, the tires are already burnt off, and that's just a recipe.
It just came around. He was trying. I mean, valiant effort for sure, but it just no grip. And when that car unloaded on the bump, there was. I mean, you're already loose, and when it went over that bump and the weight transfer, it's just no lateral grip at all as he was rotating through the corner.
Yeah, so we watch this in slow motion. Just look at the steering wheel work by Trevor Vaden as that 21 machine was getting with it. You would think at some point he'd think, well, maybe I should lift off the gas, but you can't tell a racer to not keep the gas pedal down. He is trying to make it work. I mean, look at him.
Look at the tachometer. He redlined the tach. He redlined that tachometer. Wow.
Dude, the steering wheel was never straight down the whole straightaway. I mean, it's been left, right, and so he had no chance once he hit this corner to make it, as those rear tires are probably 320 degrees, and he just came around. So I guess he got tired, Chuck. I guess that's what happened.
I wonder if he's listening to the broadcast and said, okay. Break time.
Well, pit stops did happen while we were looking at that replay, as we wanted to highlight, while he did bring out the caution, it was still pretty amazing to see him Tokyo drift down the straightaway. Now, as they come off of pit road, we've got a strategy here. Daniel Cunningham in that Crayola car took 2 tires on that stop. Chuck, what do you feel about 2 tires at this track right now?
If it was a night race, yes, I think you need all 4 freshies to. I'm never a huge one on a 2-tire stop anyway. Sometimes I did, but.
Well, Chuck, maybe he
not now.
Chuck, maybe he accidentally took 2 tires. You think that's possible? You think that's possible doing iRacing?
We're gonna do that, are we? I could personally say yes, accidentally. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mr. Smith.
I appreciated it when it happened. It was a good thing for me. But yeah, so it's definitely possible that he might have accidentally taken 2 tires, but no, probably doing a little strategy call to try to get out front. I mean, he is a playoff driver, and now not don't think he's going to be able to make the Final Four race. So just trying to get up here and try for a win, but I think that's going to be tough. Yeah, I think whoever's behind him is going to have to make probably a wild move here at the end, but only going to be about 13 so laps to go once we get the green. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, Chuck. It's going to be wild.
I know Cofield's probably going to message me after watching the broadcast. He's going to be so mad. I feel that there's 13 other drivers that are happy of the jinx and the curse, but I'm sure Mr. Cofield's not going to be happy with me. So my apologies, Mr. Cofield.
Well, the good news about it is there's really not any playoff implications in this race at all, even though it's a cutoff race. So, either way, it doesn't really matter to a whole lot of these folks. Daniel's the only one up there that's in the playoffs. Brandon Wallace is sitting eighth. Him and Stephen McDonald are really the only 2 drivers fighting for a playoff spot, as Kieran Church already locked in. So, yeah, just an interesting ending here. Just guys throwing Hail Marys. So, going to be fun to see this race out. I'm excited to see how the 13 and 8 deal with this, and if they got anything for the 58 on equal tires. But green flag is out here, and Garrett Kinder right away jumps up to the high side behind the 58, expecting just to go around the 14, but Chuck, looks like the 14 doing okay down at the bottom. Oh, no, and Garrett Kinder goes down low, trying to cut up under the 14, and he's going to blend back up, and a big wreck is Matt Clement going to get into the 24, and Brandon Pollock up against the wall, and that 24 has big damage, and caution is out again.
Let's go back if you could do it. This is again, once again, viewers. I know we've been talking about the track temp all day. Uh, it looked like Kendrick got loose on the straightaway. So I don't know if you could go back and look at that on the in car. When cars are getting loose on the straightaway, it's slick out there.
Yeah, it looks like he was going to try to get a run on the inside of the 14, and the 14 just checks up a little bit off the corner as we'll jump into that Wreckage Rewind here presented by Kinder Farm and Ranch. You'll see the 14 kind of slow off the corner. He's going to try to get to the inside, and when he does, he just puts too much gas into it. But once that happens, we'll go back to Matt Clement, who is Garrett Kinder going to try to blend back in here, and it's just a nerve-wracking position to be in if you're the 19, 21, or 24s. He's trying to give plenty of room for the 13, but just kind of slides up the track, gets into both the 21 and the 24, and that's where the caution actually came from. So, unfortunately, Brandon Pollock finds himself sideways into the wall. Just a half spin. I mean, he didn't go all the way around. He got the ship righted, but that was enough to bring out the caution.
In my opinion, if the track temps were less, or if it was a night race, I honestly don't feel Garrett would have gotten loose by that maneuver. It's not like he just yanked the wheel. Yeah, he had to turn it to try and get underneath. But I feel that's how or how slick the track is. Night race, cooler temps. I don't even see Garrett getting loose there, in my opinion. Knowing Garrett's skill level and the accomplished sim racer that he is, I just don't see that car getting loose. Under other track dynamics. Well, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was just one of those things where he had planned to get a run on the 14 off the corner, and I think the 14 held it low off the corner because he was, still to the inside of Cofield, and when Garrett tried to give it that little bit of extra, it just came around on the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's making that move either way. I think it was just a tough position for the 13 to be in, trying to navigate around the 14, who obviously those 2 tires not super great. It's a good call, I think, but I think it's going to end up hurting him if we continue to get cautions. But I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. I mean, I think Daniel definitely struggling compared to the guys on new tires. We only ran about a lap there, and we had some guys go down pit road back behind this group, starting 7th on back. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference at all, but I'm interested to see this bottom line. It's been the fastest 3 drivers. It's been Cofield, Kostick, and Kinder. Can they get away and battle it out for the win here? That's what I'm looking to see here. And maybe that 23 up the top can make a move here on the restart and make something happen.
I'm going to say we're going to see some 3 wide.
Well, I hope so.
Unfortunately, I don't feel that Daniel's going to be able to hold off on 2 tires, and people are going to have to not be patient with under 10 to go.
Green flag is out. 9 laps to go. Jonathan Cofield gets a great jump, and the battle's going to be back here for second as Daniel Cunningham going to try to hold these guys off, but I think he's in trouble. As you can see through the middle of the corner, these other drivers just got a lot more grip. It's actually Jonathan Cofield's best friend is that 14 car on those 2 tires, and he is way up there right now as Kostick trying to get clear, just not quite able to do it. Daniel Cunningham, Garrett Kinder and Adcock make a little contact and not able to get anything done. Adcock going to try to make it 3 wide. He's just stuck back behind the 14. He can't do anything. Kostick almost gets clear of the 14, but Daniel holding off a bunch of guys back here as Cofield just driving away.
Yeah, that's the best thing Cofield wants to see other than a caution. He wants to see him battle so he could get away.
Yeah, definitely. The 14 is Cofield's best friend right now, as he is basically holding off the field from getting to Cofield with those 2 tires. You see these guys are battling, leaning on each other. The 13 leans on the 23. The 23's kind of stuck behind the 14 again. They're going to make contact. My goodness. These boys are probably racing a little bit frustrated, Chuck.
I would agree, and Bubba Wallace is he's trying to get in the mix for a top 5.
Here comes the 23, gonna make it 3 wide. Can they make this stick? I don't know. It's gonna be close. The 13's gonna go around head first into the wall. We saw it brewing. Another caution comes out as Garrett Kinder in the 13 goes around, and he has got big damage. He still has a faster pair, so if he can make it around, he can get that car fixed. But Chuck, we saw that happening. It was brewing for quite a few laps. Yeah.
It looks like Garrett's car is he's smoking. I believe he'll be able to get to pit road though. It doesn't look like he'll have to tow, so he should have a quick repair, fast repair, whatever it's called, in the bank. That's a small consolation because he'll be starting in the back. But good. Short track racing, under 10 to go. I think I agree with the frustration aspect. Not that Daniel did anything wrong. He made his bet. He's lying in it, and he's racing. But I think some of those guys that took 4 are trying to race clean and be have etiquette, but they want to get up and go too. And I think Daniel's just kind of holding some guys up, and guys are trying to make some moves with under 10 to go. And now it looks like we will have probably a natural green-white checkered, if not an actual green-white checker. We'll see.
Well, all right, Chuck. Well, let's go look at this replay real quick so we can get this out of the way. And on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind, and if you will, Chuck, refresh your webcam page if you don't mind. And let's go check out this replay. As we look, see Aaron Adcock down. It goes down to the inside, 3 wide with Daniel Cunningham on the outside, the 13. They do a great job so far. A little contact off the corner, and that was all that it took. And the 13 goes around. Just not a whole lot of space there. I can't say that's anybody's fault as 13 trying to kind of comes down. I mean, I'm not picking any sides here, but 13 just trying to get a run off the corner, make the exit, and the 23 also trying to make the same exit. And unfortunately for Matt Clement, he is involved in this one as well. He had already used his fast repair, so. Yeah.
Tyler Rice got a piece of that as well.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was just a three wide situation. Garrett Kinder trying to make the exit, and two guys trying to fight for that same line, and yeah,
I,
just
I Yeah, I completely agree. Even the little bit that Garrett came down, that was probably to try to stay off the inside of the 14. Certainly not trying to pinch Aaron, and nor do I think Aaron, is trying to, egregiously get into Garrett. I don't. I completely agree. It was three wide racing near the end of the race. It just That's what's going to happen when you got three wide and one car is on two tire strategy only.
yeah. Well, so up front, it is now Jonathan Cofield, Michael Kostick for the first of three green white checkered. So this will be an official green white checkered. Jonathan Cofield, Michael Kostick's teammate's going to start on the front row. Daniel Cunningham with those two tires on the inside, and then you got Aaron Adcock on the outside of the second row. So I think Cofield is in a great spot here as he's going to have control of the restart. And he's going to bring the 14 with him. So if he can kind of tighten up the field and get on the gas pretty well and get Daniel to come along with him, then Daniel can continue to be that kind of block for Cofield. And of course, like I said, we keep talking about Daniel like he's a roadblock. He's not a roadblock. He just has older
It's
left
just
side tires, and so
exactly. That's all
it's
it is.
yeah, it's he's definitely got the skill. He's been able to hold his own, but you can just see that the left side are pretty important as he's not able to really make any forward progress, just kind of holding his spot. But we'll see how this all plays out. I mean, good grief, it's going to be wild here, and we got 3 attempts at it. As they come down the back
Yep.
straightaway, lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to go green here. And so green, white, checkered, as always. Take the green flag. If we get the white flag, it's over. And if the yellow flag comes out before they take the white, we will rack them up and do it again.
I am impressed. I'm not surprised. I mean, Daniel's a great driver, but he is holding his own with that tire strategy.
Yep, green flag coming out as Cofield does get a great jump, and Daniel Cunningham doesn't. So that's actually not very good for Cofield, as his teammate's going to come along with him. And I think Kostick has enough to run that 58 down and make it past. I know they're teammates, but they're not battling for any playoffs or championships. This is just for the win. And you see some guys that are coming. So if they get up here and get racy side by side, who knows what can happen. But white flag is out here for Jonathan Cofield.
Wow.
Can
Bubba trying to
Kostick
go
do
down low.
anything? He's coming off of turn number 2. He's not going to be there, I don't think. Goes down in the corner of the 8, going to try to get a run on the outside as they come off of turn number 4. Jonathan Cofield's going to hang on and win here in Iowa. It takes home the win. Aaron Adcock comes in third. Michael Kostick comes in second, and Brandon Wallace comes home with a 4th place finish. So
And look
great
at
drive.
Daniel. He held his own. He uh he held the top five, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I do want to give Daniel props for that. Again, I don't know if it was accidental or he took a shot, but he uh he was on right sides only and it came home with the top five. So I'll give him some props for that as far as how he held it.
Absolutely. Well, let's give out our Hard Charger Award winner presented by Dark Horse Motorsports, and that's going to go to Michael Kostick. You can see there with 7 positions he gained. Daniel Cunningham so close, but Michael Kostick finished in second place. He is the Dark Horse Motorsports Hard Charger, so congratulations to him. And I believe, Chuck, now is the time to hit me with that best paint of the night presented by Jeff by Junior Art.
I don't think there's any question. It's got to go with the 14. I know that's twice. He kitty cats on it one week. Yeah, I love cats, and now look at that. Man, that just makes me hungry. As soon as the broadcast's over, I'm gonna go get what little crayons I got left and glass of milk, and I'm gonna chow down. So great looking car. Thank you, and congratulations again, Daniel, for a great looking car.
Well, there you have it. Your Jeff Bott Jr. Art best paint of the night is going to go to Daniel Cunningham with the Crayola number 14 machine. So definitely play into the judge in that one. Well, alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and talk to your winner, the number 58 of Jonathan Cofield, who takes the win here tonight. And let's talk to him and see what he thought about the race. If we can get him pulled up in here, if we can find him, and let's get him up in here and talk to him. Cofield, this Eddie Chuck in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, buddy, I got you.
Well, man, congratulations on a great race. She started on the front row, and I think that's what was the biggest move of the race. Starting on the pole, able to hold on, get out to an early lead. I think Garrett Kinder, Michael Kostick had similar speed to you, but just not the track position. And so you were able to get out front and really kind of take control of that race. Talk a little bit about that and how important that was, and then obviously trying to fight through the green flag and then the green white checkered at the end.
Yeah, it's a fun race. Had a few no-shows for the championship, so it's kind of like a fun race. I cheated a little bit. Jonah and Kinder and Kostick and, everybody wanted to start in the rear, and I qualified, so I cheated a little bit. But yeah, fun race. Car was really, really tight. Had to turn the brakes as far down as you could get them. Had them down a little too far on that first run, burnt the rears up a little bit, and it was pretty hard to hold on to. So the second run, I waited a little later to turn them down, and it kind of helped with the heat in the rear tires there. But yeah, as the run got on, the car got a little looser in the rear end. Good race, fun race with running with everybody. I didn't mind it. I wanted, everybody had worked their way up, all five of us, and had a little 20-lap shootout there to the end. I like racing around these guys. But no, I wasn't bothered by it at all.
I'll tell you what, that's a great attitude because if you're going to be mad at anybody, you would have to be mad at Eddie Smith for the for the for the curse there. So I don't know if you watch a broadcast or if you have it going while you're racing, but if you didn't and you go back and watch it, that was certainly Eddie Smith's commentary that caused that curse, and not peg leg, not peg leg. I want to stress it was not peg leg.
Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely go back and watch. I don't, me, I don't have the internet service to push all that, but yeah, I go back and watch these races and enjoy you and Eddie in the booth putting on a good show for everybody watching. I want to thank Rebel Racing Network, you and Chuck up there in the booth, giving all these people talking about the racing, giving them something to watch. Jeff Bott Jr. Art, Kinder Farmer Ranch, Flexible Freight Solutions, Dark Horse Motorsports, No Next Fast Repair, Chuck Peglet Phelps, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service. Wish all these guys the best of luck in the championship race. I hope some people, come on out and give these guys something to fight for. It's a great league to be a part of. So come on out here and don't make it easy for these guys.
All righty. Well, have a good night. Congratulations again, Jonathan.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, I think I might have been muted there, Chuck, while I was trying to drink some water. So we got unmuted now, but I think you've caught up here with Michael Kostick for second place.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Chuck Pegleg and Eddie in the booth. How you doing?
Good, Chuck.
Nice job on the hard charger and getting up there. Another podium again. I always say every week, some guys are aggressive or this is in their wheelhouse. as far as a greasy, slick track. But seems like no matter where you start, what type of track it is, in my opinion, are one of the more methodical and patient drivers. Not that you don't have to be aggressive when the situation calls for it, but you just kind of watch the way battles in front of you and pick and choose your battles, and you're so patient. With that being said, I don't know if I have ever seen Iowa at 138 degrees track temp. Tell me a little bit about that, how slick it was, because I can only imagine it was extremely slick. And with your patience, how if that made you be even more patient, or if you had to maybe be a little bit more aggressive to get through traffic because of the track temp. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was surprisingly still pretty tight on entry, so I had to put a lot of bias into it. But I think the slickness might have helped a little bit, just save tires, and you kind of get drive pretty deep on entry and kind of slide up in front on in the middle or on exit. But yeah, it was just kind of just be patient, easy in, easy out, soft on the throttle. But yeah, I mean, somewhat could pass, but it's still just Iowa.
Right, it's Iowa. It's a tough place anyway. So was it pushing? You said tight, but was it because it was slick and you were just sliding up, or was it maybe the iRace's setup that still made the car tight? What do you think?
It might have been 50-50 there, but kind of felt more like the setup, because as soon as you added some bias into it, you get it to rotate a little bit on entry, and then just had to be patient on through the middle of the corner, not to over rotate it. But yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of the setups, I guess.
I got you. Well, once again, a great race for you, another podium. And again, I think your nickname should be Mr. Patience, because every week you're up there, you're battling no matter where you start. And again, something I've noticed since I've known you, racing with you, and now being in the booth a few times, you're patient. You don't really push it unless you absolutely have to, and yet that comes through. You just
Appreciate that.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations, Michael Kostick. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you, maybe be talking to you a little bit later.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, all right. Well, let's talk to our third place finisher and let's get out of here because we've got a big race following up here in just a second. So we're going to pull Mr. Aaron Adcock up into the booth. This is Eddie. Chuck, in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, a pretty good race for you, man. Started up front on the second row. You were struggling with speed in practice, yet we look up on the grid, and there you are on the outside of the front row, able to get away early and just kind of slid back there at the end of that run, able to come in and pit a little bit earlier than other folks, get that lead, and just try to hang on at the end, and then just able to get out there and race your guts out on those green-white checkers. Talk a little bit about your race, how'd it go, and what more did you need?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that in qualifying because I just didn't have the speed in practice all night. But I think it helped that a lot of the fast guys didn't. Some of them didn't qualify and kind of worked their way from the back. But yeah, put it outside pole and figured I'd just see what I could hold on to. And I wasn't even thinking whenever I come down pit road on lap 40. I was 2 laps short of making it on fuel. I was just trying to get a little bit of track position and get my fast repair done. I kind of kissed the wall coming off of 3 whenever I was behind Cofield there on that early run. But yeah, then the caution at the end that I saw the guy spin out and I figured it would be a little better. I'd get to come get tires and fuel and help me, maintain that track position from pitting early and staying out. But yeah, just I didn't mean to get into Kinder. Just tough racing on a short track, and we were 3 wide, but I really couldn't go any lower, and I looked like we just were in the same real estate, so wasn't nothing egregious or anything like that. But I'm sure it probably isn't taken that way. But yeah, so rough night. Setup was kind of loose all night anyways. I was struggling on the long run, but knew I had the short run speed and just just done what I could do.
Well, and what you did was good enough for third place. So somebody who felt pretty terrible going into the race to come out with a podium, that's pretty dang good. So, man, congratulations. Always who you got to thank. Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, my wife and kids, my family, all the people that tune in to watch each week, all my racers and teammates at Poman Motorsports, Apex Sim Racing, Jimmy up there, he does a great job with button boxes and dash panels and anything sim racing wise, and also my buddy Mike Smith at AmericanGridApparelCompany.com. Go check those guys out. They got a lot of great blue collar tradesman t-shirts and hats and stuff like that. So kind of giving back to the blue collar man. So appreciate those guys jumping on board and sponsoring this year as well. And Rebel Racing Network, all the admins, and just everybody that shows up each week making it fun.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place finisher, Aaron Adcock, with a fantastic run at the end. It was some really great racing. So, man, did a great job. Well, Chuck, man, how did we feel about tonight? We've been talking a lot about it, and man, I tell you, I feel like the race kind of delivered there at the end with that little green-white checker that we had, and got a little bit of good racing. But I feel like we had some close racing, guys fighting each other. Got Garrett Kinder, Michael Costa coming through the field, and then they were racing it out, some different pit strategy. You know, we were worried that it was going to be sort of maybe an uneventful race, but it turned out to be kind of the opposite.
Yeah, I agree, and I think part of that, I was surprised to hear Michael talk about it being tight. I mean, we talk about the track temps all night, so there was some good racing all night. I know sometimes people think that green and checkers kind of boring, but there was some good racing, whether it's in the front or all the way, even mid and rear pack. There was some good racing all night, and then a little bit of wreckage at the end to up the intensity or the drama, if you will. So yeah, I thought it was a great race. It was very exciting and enjoyed being in the booth with you again, Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looking forward to, I don't know how the Final Four. I mean, we know that Brandon Wallace and Steve McDonald are going to make it along with Kieran Church. So we know those three are going to be racing out for a championship in next week. We don't know how Travis Bieber, Chris Reese didn't show up tonight. He was a shoe-in had he showed up, because Travis Bieber, Daniel Cunningham not going to make the final race. So going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. We may only have 3 drivers racing for a championship, which will be really exciting. I believe we're at Las Vegas, but we're going to jump out of here as we've got another cutoff race tonight in the ARCA series starting in about 15 minutes. So we got to roll. Chuck, it's been a pleasure. Glad to have you in the booth. And we will see y'all next week as we get ready to crown champions here in Original Rebels. See you guys later. Bye.